Hi guys, today we are working with Recool Hair and I have their lace wig with me. It's a lace frontal 360 lace front wig. It is in a loose deep curl and it's 24 inches. Ooh, they give you a cute little pocket mirror. I love when companies do that, and it's really nicely packaged. It comes in this huge Ziploc bag, so let's go ahead and check it out. Oh my god, this curl pattern. Okay. Alright, let's see you. I've been using more and more, oh this is so pretty. I've been using more and more 360 wigs. I'm starting to try them out a little bit more. And let's just look at the inside. So, immaculate freaking construction. I'm not a fan of the smell. It's not like corn chippy, but it probably will need to be washed and conditioned for a while to get that smell out. I don't like it, but God, look at how neatly the wefts are sewn onto this wig. This wig is constructed amazingly. It has typical bra straps. It has 4 of the combs, which I'm gonna remove. As you guys always know, I am raking my hands through the curls. I'm regretting it, but I'm already raking my hands through the curls, and the wig is just getting bigger and bigger, which I love. I absolutely love this curl pattern. I love this curl pattern. Yeah, it looks to be slightly pre-plucked, but it definitely needs a lot of work. So yeah, it's not a very dense hairline. It has the baby hair, but it's not a very realistic hairline either. The back isn't plucked at all, but they do give you quite a bit of 360 in the back if you remove that bra strap, which I do intend to do. Alright, so I'm just gonna bleach the inside of my cap, and I'm gonna figure out what I want to do with this wig. I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking some burgundy tones, maybe some burgundy highlights. Maybe I'll do a black and keep her pretty simple. I have not decided, but I am excited to try this out because this hair is super freaking soft. And yeah, this is my first time working with Recool hair, and so far I'm pretty impressed. So we're just gonna come back once I doctor the wig up, because I know you guys don't want to see that on camera. It takes a really long time for no apparent reason, and you've seen me do it in tons of other videos. So we're just going to come right back after I've already done the manual labor that we need to do on her. Alright guys, so the first thing we're actually going to do is create a bleach bath. This is currently how I lighten all of my hair, just to maintain integrity, especially if I intend to lighten it more than once. So I'm using the ion lightener. I just made it upside down for no reason. Ion lightener and the 40 volume developer. This will be our first mixture. It will basically take our hair up to a lighter level, and once I see how light it's made the hair, then I'll go ahead and I'll do another mixture with 30, and if it's necessary, absolutely necessary, I'll do another mixture with 20. So I like to use the Suave Daily Clarifying Shampoo because basically it's cheap and readily available, but you're going to want to make sure whatever shampoo you're using has clarifying in the name. This first mixture, we're doing a whole 360 wig, so I'm going to do about 2 scoops of bleach. You can do 2.5 if you like. I prefer the Ion brand because it doesn't have a smell. Well, it smells fruity. It doesn't smell god awful like some bleaches, like BW. And I'm eyeballing the amount of developer. And when it comes to shampoo, that's where you make your bulk. This is where you can make the most of your mixture and kind of just really add that shampoo in so that it covers the entire hair. Again, this is very, very cheap, so you don't have to worry about using too much of it. So I'm just gonna mix that really well until it creates like a complete creamy, foamy type texture. More of a like blueberry melted milkshake. I'm gonna take the wig. We're just going to Make sure there's no tangles or anything in the wig, and then we're going to apply our mixture starting at the bottom because 40 volume developer does process fast. So we'll start at the bottom and work our way up to the root. Alright guys, so this is the first round of bleaching, completely saturating the hair. Another reason why I really love the bleach bath method is just because it's so much easier to saturate the hair because you're working with shampoo. It foams up and it allows you to get into just about every nook and cranny. Also, you guys can see that starting from the bottom, we already have a lighter golden brown going into now like an auburn, and here at the roots we are just starting to get a little bit lighter, so it's going to bleach in an ombre, which is good. It'll hopefully eliminate having patchiness, but I can already tell by like how slowly this is lifting with the 40. We're gonna definitely need to take it up at least 1 or 2 more times, hopefully not 2. I'm gonna wrap it in the trash bag that I actually have it laying on right now, and just to generate some heat, and I'll come back in about 45 minutes to see how we're doing. Alright, chickadees, so really quickly, I did do some test strips just to see if the hair was light enough because I did 2 bleach washes with 40 volume developer, and I didn't want to have to try to take it any more lighter. It just was not bleaching like I thought it would. It was not lifting as much as I thought it would, so this is as much lifting as I was able to get. It's pretty even, but the middle is still a little darker than I would like. However, like I said, I did do some test strands, so let me go ahead and lower this some so you guys can actually see it. Pow, pow, pow. So I tested 3 colors to see which one I wanted to work with. So this is Adora's Magenta. This one in the middle here is the Feisty Fuchsia, and this wonderful bright pink is the Pink Rose. So I looked at it, thought about it, and I thought I wanted to go brighter. So we're gonna do Pink Rose with a couple of low lights of the Magenta. I think I'm gonna mix like 2 parts Pink Rose, 1 part of the Feisty Fuchsia because they're like really similar, but just to make sure that the darker portions here don't come out muddy, I'm going to add in that darker Feisty Fuchsia because light colors have a tendency to get muddy when the hair isn't light enough. And again, this hair is still pretty, it's very bouncy, but I can tell the ends are getting a little bit dry, and I don't want to take the hair, you know, past its integrity and then I'm like, oh, it's not good hair. It's like, no, since you bleached it twice, you can chill. So we're gonna color it. So that's my first gripe is I don't think it lifted as much as it should have. Again, these are bleach washes, not full-on bleaching, so that does have something to do with it. But I've had hair that lifted, boom, beautifully into washes, into bleach washes with lower volume. So, guys, I'm taking my handy dandy mixer here, and we're pouring in the Pink Rose. About half a bottle of the Feisty Fuchsia. I mixed that in a bit before we put that top on there. Make sure you get to the bottom and you're kind of mixing it really well. Alright guys, so we pretty much have the entire back part done. The only thing we are still doing is the frontal, and I just wanted to show you guys this briefly because I saw this on Instagram and I thought it was really cool. So you just take an old toothbrush, maybe even your edges toothbrush, it doesn't really matter, and you can put the dye right on the toothbrush, but I made my dye a little bit more liquidy, but it helps to basically get the front of the frontal without putting too much dye on it and it seeping through. So this will help you when you are doing your frontals and you want to make sure you're not dyeing them, especially if you're doing darker colors and you don't want to stain it. So this kind of just helps the front portion, and you can part the frontal and go in and do it as well, and it makes sure all of the hairs are dyed as well. So that's just a little trick. You guys might have already known it, but alright guys, so the entire wig has been dyed very messily, might I add, and I'm gonna leave this overnight and also possibly for a chunk of time tomorrow, just to make sure it saturates and the color gets through as much of the hair as possible. As you see, I didn't lighten it as much as I could have lightened it, but I didn't want to destroy the hair. I think I basically made a call and said, yeah, this is as light as it's gonna get, and so hopefully this pigment takes. It looks like it's taking to the lighter parts, but I have gone in and see that there are still some brown parts, so hopefully those will hopefully that's just the figment of my imagination and they will actually get colored. If not, you know, we tried, whatever. So the next time you'll see me, we'll come back with the color washed out and blow dried, and we'll get into the specs of that. Alright guys, so here's the finished look. I do apologize for not coming back down to show you guys what the blow dried hair looks like, but I was in a super rush today trying to get some other videos done for you. So we're just going to go ahead and talk about the specs. This is just the hair curled once it was dried, and I just want to show you guys the packaging again. This is Recool hair. The lights are a little too bright, but this is Recool hair, and this is their 360 lace front wig, 24 inches. I don't have the back tacked down. I didn't feel like putting any glue on this. This is just using some of my Gatsby spray, and yeah, so that's how she's on my head. I don't even have my wig band on, but she's good enough for tonight. So let's talk about this hair very quickly because I have the movie to see in 10 minutes. The hair did not lift as bright as I thought it would, and as you can see, the hair didn't come out the pinky magenta. It's pulling really red on TV, on camera, but it is a magenta. It's just more of a red magenta versus a pink magenta, and I think that's half of me mixing a little bit too much of the fuchsia in with the pink. But as you can see, it was definitely necessary because we do have some darker colors up and throughout, so I did need to go in with that fuchsia and that magenta and kind of mix that in. Otherwise, those parts that didn't lift would have turned out more muddy brown. And I do definitely have some more muddier pieces, not a lot, but some muddier pieces in the hair, so I'm not a huge fan of how this turned out. However, I think the color is really pretty. I don't have a wig this color. Again, it's pulling way more bright red than it is. It's more of a magenta, fuchsia red, so hopefully that's coming off on camera. In my viewfinder, it's really not. So I think that I lifted the hair twice and it is dry, so I do not recommend doing more than one bleach wash on this hair. It didn't lift how I thought it would, and from the color that it originally was, I thought lifting it would be pretty easy. I've had 360 wigs lift right away. You guys seen on my channel the last 360 wig that I had lifted beautifully with just the 2 bleaches and 2 different developers. I had to use 2 high volume developers to even get this to the color that we had it, and unfortunately it did dry out the hair. Now, I haven't had a ton of shedding, really any shedding. I don't have my shedding with me, it must be upstairs. I haven't had a lot of shedding at all with this hair. However, I do expect to have shedding because I have not only cut it, I've cut off the back part of the lace where that bra strap was. I always cut it because the wigs are always too big for my head, and I don't understand why that bra strap is there. Anyway, it's supposed to be 360. Blase, blah. So I do expect to get some shedding in this wig, especially for how long I bleached the knots. I was not very careful when bleaching the entire wig. I kind of bleached the knots, and I bleached the entire wig, and I bleached the entire wig. So the integrity of my wig, I'll give it to it. I thought that this wig would melt the amount of times that I bleached these knots, but we are still kicking. I did do some plucking, as you guys can see. I did a lot of plucking, and I'm pretty happy with the amount of plucking that I did. Yes, I don't have a ton to say about this wig. I do like the construction of it. The wefts are like super close together, so the wig is very full. Like if I open it up, you're not seeing like empty spaces. The tracks are very close together. It's dope. So I do think that the construction of this wig is A1. I just don't understand why the hair doesn't lift as much as it should. So that's really basically all I have to say about this wig. I know this was a short wrap up, but after a while, like, you know what? I'm going to create a list of must-haves and must-not-haves for my wigs and hair reviews, so I'm not just coming to you guys basically off the top of my head of what I remember during the process. But this process was pretty straightforward. Do I recommend this hair? I think personally it would probably be a pass for me, only because I like to color my hair. If I would have kept it the brown color, I think this is a beautifully constructed wig, but as far as being versatile, it just really wasn't there for me. On a plus side, it's like a loose deep wave, so it's definitely holding curls. It was a loose deep wave originally, and when I wet it to wash it, it definitely got like a little wave back to it. So yeah, that's just about it for this hair, you guys. Hopefully you liked it. You give me a thumbs up. We're gonna try to do a more pinky rosy magenta next time, and hopefully that'll work out. We'll do that on some 613 hair maybe. But until then, go ahead and like and subscribe if you did like this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. I love you so much. Mwah.